Hello, everybody. Mr. Zentner here with another Read Aloud. Let's get going into it. Please follow along as I'm reading. We're talking about genetic inheritance today. So, oftentimes Sam gets very sick. Sometimes his body experiences a lot of pain, and other times he's too tired to even go out and play his favorite sport, baseball, with his friends. Right after he was born, a simple blood test was performed, and he was diagnosed with sickle cell anemia, a disease that is inherited. But Sam does not quite understand why he has it when his mother, father, sister, and brother do not have it. Sickle cell anemia is an inherited blood disorder. Blood cells have a compound called hemoglobin. The hemoglobin molecules carry oxygen from the lungs to all the cells in the body and bring carbon dioxide back to the lungs. The pain Sam sometimes the pain Sam experiences is caused by the sickle-shaped red blood cells instead of the smooth donut-shaped blood cells of a person without sickle cell. Many of Sam's blood cells are long rod-like shaped. Sickle cells are long and rod-like shapes. Sickle cells are stiff and not flexible enough to fit through small blood vessels in the body. Instead, they pile up and cause a blockage, depriving his cells beyond that point of oxygen they need to function well. This causes episodes of pain Sam experiences and can cause severe damage to the organs in the body. Normal blood cells live for about 120 days, while sickle cells die after only 10 or 20 days. Since they are not replaced fast enough, the blood is often lacking enough red blood cells, and this causes a condition called anemia. The decreased amount of red blood cells means that the cells all over the body cannot all get the oxygen they need. This is why Sam is too tired to do the things he would like to do. So, where did the sickle cell anemia come from? In order to determine where Sam's sickle cell anemia came from, it is necessary to take a look at his family. To do so, we use a pedigree. A pedigree is a visual chart that shows a family history or the inheritance of a specific trait. If we were to make a pedigree of Sam's immediate family, you would see this pattern. Here's this one below here. This one. Look at the pedigree of Sam's family on the next page. Males in the pedigree are represented by a square shape, and females are represented by circle shapes. So, the square and the circle that are joined together represent parents of a family tree. And the square and the circle on the branch from the parents represent the offspring, including Sam. The trait we are interested in the following pedigree is represented by a shaded square or shaded circle. So, this dark coloring, this is no sickle cell, and this light coloring, this is sickle cell. On Sam's family pedigree, the traits are inherited is sickle cell disease. Neither of Sam's parents nor siblings has sickle cell anemia, but he does. If sickle cell is an inherited disease, but no one else in an immediately family has it, where could it have come from? Let's have a look at the pedigree that includes Sam's grandparents to see if we find out whom he might have inherited the disease for. So, this is blown up a little bit. Looking at this pedigree, we can see that Sam's grandmother and his father's side of his grandfather on his mother's side both had sickle cell anemia. Two of his father's sisters and his mother's brother also had the disease. It looks like a trait for sickle cell anemia was inherited from both paternal and maternal sides. Genetic counseling. Before Sam was born, his parents decided to undergo genetic counseling. They knew that sickle cell anemia was hereditary. Even though neither of them had the disease, they wanted to know if they had a chance of having a child who would. Genetic counseling is a process that helps individuals and families who are at risk for inherited disease determine the probability of the disease occurring and helping them understand the disease and how to deal with it. The process involves studying family history, medical records, and genetic evaluation to determine risk factors. The counselor, using information that Sam's parents provided about their families, created a pedigree and types of hemoglobin their families had. The counselor was able to determine if it was possible for Sam's parents to have a child with sickle cell anemia. That's why Sam and his brothers and sisters were tested as soon as they were born to see if they had the disease. Genetic counseling helped his parents provide Sam with the early possible diagnosis. They understood the disease and were prepared to provide Sam with the best treatments available, and they became involved with the Children's Sickle Cell Foundation and took part in several groups of genetic counseling. I'm running out of time. I'm hurrying up. There's only one